So hi everybody, welcome back. This is the Cayman GT4 RS. It is the model made by Alpha Model. They made another time an amazing model. They arrive in this wonderful and nice box, exactly in the style like Model Factory Heroes and all the major producer from Japan, so the level is absolutely the same. And I think for some point of view is also higher because they really achieved a really incredible skill in making detailed models, and they're extremely nice to build up. This is the Cayman 718. This type of cayman, this is the last type of cayman, not the first one that have been made in plastic by Fujimi. This is the second version of the cayman, the modern one, the one that you can buy today. In reality, this is a fantastic sports car because different from the 911, which is slightly bigger than this car, she has the central engine, so the engine placed before the rear axle in this position, which have the negative point that in reality is a little bit tricky to make the maintenance, everything have to be like in a race car. And the positive stuff is that for the racing purposes, this is the best solution ever, because the balancing of the weight in a race car when the motor is placed in the central position is really the perfect style. A real race car constantly have the motor placed in the central part of the chassis. They made a very nice model, an amazing model in my opinion, which I already built it up. So this is not the presentation of the kit. I think it's a little unuseful, because you find plenty of videos on internet of other modelers that present the racing parts and so on. So I will make it slightly from here. This is the instruction sheet. Probably is something that it could be a little bit improved because it's very clear. Once you build up the model, it became clear, but there is some steps that is not that easy to understand at the first glance, And they provide these 3 sheets printed in a colored 5 sheet basically, because the last one is a blank one. So, and one of them is a kind of interpretation which give me the idea to build up the Jägermeister version. The Jägermeister version is not provided in the box. It was something extra. They provide this car, which I think it was a real one, made in reality with a replica livery from the Rothmans Porsche of the 80s, the same one taking the Martini colors and so on. And this is a real car. This is an actual car. I never seen a Jägermeister version, but it could be possible. So if we look at the liveries that the Porsche 956 and 962 had back in time, it could be also Jägermeister. Jägermeister was the car which I made like from a 956, a short version in the numbers used by Stefan Bellof in 1983, I guess, in the Norrisring in Germany race. So this is basically a fantasy livery in the same level like this one are, and I didn't want to convert badly the interior part to make it like a real racer, so the car basically went up straight from the box. These are the parts that they provide in the model. I think overall now they reached the really an excellence of detail and quality for the printed stuff. I had basically no wrinkle at all on the racing parts. They also provided double sets of wheels, these sprocket wheels, which I think is in 19-inch or if not 20-inch dimension, and also this typical Porsche rim made this way with a single part of tire. In my model I wanted to change it to place the classical BBS RS series with the slick tires, which was basically the wheel I took from the Porsche, from the Tamiya Porsche 993 GT2, but with the slick tire, not with the rain tire that they provide inside the boxes. So that's a wheel that I make in racing. It's available through my website or just email me, and I think it really gives to the car the typical German look that I like so much in these racers, in these Porsches. I think it matches completely to Porsche and BMW, so it's really the wheel for this type of cars, and so I saved these absolutely wonderful and really well printed wheels. In my opinion, just the tire were a little too slim, and probably they just resemble what it is on the real car because they are extremely precise on what's going on with the real dimension of this vehicle. So it's really spotted on the proper size. As you can see, the roll cage is just provided like in the Club Sport version. So the Club Sport version is basically what you can buy like an ordinary street car. So the denomination 7418 GT4 RS, it's like the GT2 RS is something that can be road plated, so it's something that is street legal and not absolutely a real racer, not a GT3 or Le Mans series car. So it is just the base, probably the basic vehicle that can be personalized with I think a wrap like on this model or on those examples that they provide inside the box. This is the decal sheet which I saved the remaining part down there. As you can see, I didn't use both of deliveries, can be useful for some future project or for something in the Martini livery. The Martini colors are completely well spotted on. Usually all the company make mistakes in spotting the Martini color. Is a little bit wasted here because I have no use for this part, but as you can see, the Martini colors, I try to place under a light, you see they are completely spotted correctly, so the real color is done in the proper way, as well as the Rothmans logo is really spotted with the golden pigment, so it's extremely beautiful in all the logos that you can find around that. They also provide a lot of front windshield bands for Porsche in black and white, in blue, in white over black, in white over blue, and vice versa. So the road plate in GT4 presentation, GT4 RS, Weissach RS, so it's absolutely well done. On the other side, I saved also because on the papers here, which they provide the livery, they also give you the classic liveries for the GT4 RS, which is the yellow and the usually silver with carbon fiber inserts. This is the instruction sheet that I said before. I probably would like to have a little extra. I mean, it's nothing difficult to place it in position, but you have to be extremely careful because, for example, all the parts have a proper number and they just mount in one direction. So it's a little easy to do mistake when you prepare most of the part from the raising cast point, And I didn't have particular problems. As you can see, the only difference that I made on my model was that here the front bumper and the front bonnet, sorry, of the Cayman is completely closed, while there I made a connection for the cup filler. In the race car, the position for the cup filler is in front, like in the Racing 911, so there is the fuel tank, and I imagined that they just made in slightly modification for racing purpose, to do track days and something like that. And basically the mounting, the assembly of this model is just a pleasure. This is one of the few companies that really made quite well spotted parts. You don't need any fitment adjustments, you don't have to create your own pins and parts, I mean, it's much more easy to build up something like that than other model made by other company, or even a plastic model kit, because also the Fujimi first Cayman, it was pretty decent looking, but was anyway a plastic kit, and some part didn't match so well in that assembly, so it's really over the model. Instead here is absolutely easy, so I think this Alpha Model brand is also absolutely suitable for beginners. If you just try to take it easy about the photo etch set, which is absolutely well done. I just saved some options which weren't. This was the point that I was mentioning. That's why it wasn't so clear how to make the modification between some parts and so on, to apply the parts before of that, and just to find the proper numbers. But I think it's just that you have to study probably a little more the instruction to what I did. And usually that I use it to do that type of model, so I take just my racing bodies and I adapt. In this model there is neither something else to adapt to make a pure racer for the Ferrari 430 GT2, because I love this vehicle. This was the body that I made in racing. It's absolutely stunning. I think I already made one of that, or two of them, I think, one I sold, and it's absolutely nice model, but it's kind of much more difficult to build up something like that than something like this. This is really, I took it like a little pause, between what's going on here, which you can absolutely imagine from this decal sheet, which I will show you, just arrived from my friend Fola. You can see, do you recognize for which car is this one? BMW. This is for the during 24 hours that I'm casting in these days in racing. And so I wanted to take a pause between all these other big jobs I'm making here and to do something really relaxing and really enjoyable like this Cayman from Alpha Model is. And there is nothing more to say, you know. There is of course a full interior, but as usual in those type of cars you cannot see that much. I painted in white, and there is some picture on my website to show it up, but it's not that visible, you know, really. And I wanted to place also an helmet inside, and I made a dry fit, and I also see that the helmet simply disappear inside, but not because of the factory making this stuff, but because of the structure of the modern cars, which are very little in the windows, so it's very complicated and difficult to see something. It's not a Group C car or a prototype, which you can see absolutely the interior part and so on. And but I think it's anyway absolutely convincing, you know. I just added something like I think it could be in reality painted or wrapped inside with the same Jägermeister color. There was also absolutely invisible, so you have to trust me, an insert on the dashboard which is made with in orange. I made it in orange with the Jägermeister logo, which as you can see is absolutely impossible to see from this angle, so thanks God I saved the picture of it. And yeah, I think the overall look is absolutely spot on and well taken. The same for the exhaust. This part under here, it is in carbon fiber. I just added a few parts of carbon fiber, and also this model, like in many other Alpha model, provides some details in carbon fiber, which is this decal sheet. It's absolutely great quality, you know. It never wrinkles. It's absolutely great stuff. So remember that anyway, this is what is a brand new name basically for a company that was before, that is still active, and this is named like Hobby Design. So the quality of the decal of Hobby Design, I think I used their first decal, I think, over my Ferrari 458 GT2 to make the JW yellow racer GT2 cars. And the decal sheet that I took from them, I think I bought it in eBay, something like that, but it was an Hobby Design decal sheet. And I even made the compliment to the guy that I'm referring to, Alpha Model, that is the same people, you know, because the quality was absolutely excellent, miles away in my opinion, also much more superior to Cartograph and so on, you know, because Cartograph depends. In many boxes of Italeri and Tamiya you find the Cartograph decal sheet, but sometimes because they don't seal the decal sheet inside the model, it can be that they became a little bit dry and they are very easy to crack. Stuff that absolutely don't happen here, so these are absolutely easy to work with the ordinary decal softener by Gunze Sangyo. So it's absolutely easy and nice to work with this type of stuff, you know. Inside I also placed down there, you see a nice drawings of a yellow Cayman 718, and that's it. My point is just that if you are a real collector of Porsches, this is one of the real special ones, you know. On the 911 you have something made from Tamiya, I think is that one, you know, GT3 RS is on the same brand, the same family of that one. But if you want something even more special that few people have it, my tip is search around for this model. I think it's still kind of available, if not directly from Alpha Model, probably from the local dealers and so on. You can find the model, and it's absolutely worth it until the last penny, you know. I just bought from them the Ferrari 296 GT3, which I hope to build up in a short future, you know, because they are so pleasure building up. So it's absolutely nice to do this stuff and to see them coming up together. You can see the critical points of these models where sometimes they are lost in other producer, you know. It's really the stance and the overall look of the car, which is extremely spotted on with this wonderful 718. And that's it, guys. I hope you really like this model. I absolutely love it. It's one special more in the Jägermeister collection. Right now I think I have the Porsche 966 as well as the 962, the 956, and which have the 935 K3, which I plan to rebuild it up because it was a scale Coachworks model in racing 124, and I would like to make a nicer model of that. I think I already have the decal sheet for them, but I think Jägermeister is one of the most iconic livery ever you can have on racer, and in my opinion this is absolutely a must to have, and the model is absolutely beautiful to build up without any issues. I cannot say anything bad about this kind of model. So keep on Alpha Model, another great stuff, and go for it. You know, there is these new companies coming from China that do amazing stuff, very nice stuff, really well done, and honestly I think they will just improve and make it even nicer and nicer stuff in the future. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.